Hello and good evening, my friends beyond the fog. I'm Taylor, your casual crypt keeper, and I got something for you today. Have you ever had your tarot read? It's fun to see what the cards hold in store for you, but hey, sometimes it'll reveal something better left unturned. You brace yourself now as we experience 5 stories of the decks predicting the future just a little bit too well for us, as we dive into the top 5 terrifying tarot card predictions that came true. But before we do that, you let me know, have you ever had a mysterious fortune given to you that came out to be more true than you ever could have known? Let me know all about it, or just tell me how your day was in the comments. I read them all, except the mean ones. Don't be mean. Now let's get into it. Number 5. Our first story today comes to us from a Redditor sharing a horrifying experience that her family had with getting her cards read, on a prediction that could end up being far more true than anyone could have wanted. Here's how it went. My mom used to host these Christmas parties for her girlfriends every year. She would have food and drinks and then some sort of entertainment. One year she hired someone to come read tarot cards for the party. My mom had a tarot reading by her before and was floored by her accuracy, so she figured it'd be super fun and different. The tarot reader wouldn't read for anyone under 16, so I wasn't allowed, but my brother was. Anyway, during the reading, the lady asked my mom if my dad had mentioned any plans of moving out of the country. My parents were divorced and my dad was in the Navy, but he had 0 plans to move abroad. My mom told the tarot reader that my dad wouldn't leave his kids like that. He may stay overseas for a month at a time, but he would never live out there. I mean, I saw him every other weekend. And it was at the point where he was discussing with my mom to have me over every weekend. The tarot reader insisted that the energy was weird. He's just here and then suddenly very far away. My brother got his cards read and a similar message came up with my dad. The tarot reader said something along the lines of, "Your relationship with him will exist in more of a mental state." She saw a distance as well and assumed that my dad would be stationed overseas for quite a while, longer than his usual month stay. Well, 2 weeks later, my dad was shot and killed during a robbery. My mom phoned the tarot reader and asked if she saw this. The reader just kept saying she saw him being very far away. Far away indeed, but perhaps closer than they might think. A harrowing story. And if you're looking for more stories of creepy predictions or really anything scary, Top 5 Scary has all of that and then some. Ghosts, ghouls, goblins, aliens, conspiracies, true crime, fake crime, real stories, totally fake stories. You better believe we have all of that in spades. So hit subscribe, make sure you're ringing that little bell so you don't miss anything. But if you'd be so kind, do that at the end of this video for me, would you kindly? Because I got 4 more stories of tarot predictions coming up for you right about now. Number 4, the shop. This next one was posted in an anonymous thread on Reddit for people sharing their stories of tarot card readings. Here's how it goes. Known for a fascination with the occult, a young man named Cam would seek out mysterious experiences to satisfy his curiosity. One foggy evening, he stumbled upon a tiny dimly lit shop tucked away in a shadowy alley. Cam pushed open the door, revealing a hidden world of tarot cards and mystic artifacts. The air inside the shop felt heavy, as if charged with supernatural energy. A withered old woman, her gnarled hands adorned with ancient rings, beckoned the young man forward. Her eyes glimmered with an otherworldly glow, and Cam couldn't help but feel a chill run down his spine. Ignoring this sensation, he sat at a small table and awaited the reading. As the old woman shuffled the deck, her voice trembled with a haunting melody. She placed the cards before the young man and began to unravel a tale of darkness and foreboding. The cards depicted eerie images, a cloaked figure, a crumbling tower, a scarlet moon. Cam's heart raced with a mix of fear and anticipation as the old woman told him the meaning. With each card revealed, the atmosphere grew increasingly tense. The reading painted a dire picture of Cam's future, a series of misfortunes and unavoidable tragedy. The old woman's voice grew louder, her words echoing through the room like a haunting incantation. The cards seemed to come alive, as if the images were shifting and contorting before the young man's eyes. Suddenly, the room plunged into darkness. Cam's heart pounded in his chest as he struggled to find his bearings. Whispers filled the air, and a cold wind brushed against his face. Panic gripped him, but he couldn't escape the clutches of the dark forces that had surrounded him. Just as he thought all was lost, a faint light flickered in the distance. The glow grew stronger, revealing the figure of an old woman, her eyes filled with a mix of sorrow and warning. With a voice trembling with urgency, she pleaded, "Fate is not written in stone. The choices you make will shape your destiny." As quickly as it had appeared, the darkness receded, leaving Cam alone in the shop. Covered in a cold sweat, he took a deep breath and contemplated that ominous reading. And from that day forward, he embraced each day as an opportunity to rewrite his story, mindful of the choices he made. And while the tarot had left an indelible mark on his soul, it served as a constant reminder of the power that he held within to shape his own destiny. I think if there's any takeaway from that story, it's that you should never let a set of cards dictate your life, I think, unless they're particularly valuable Pokemon cards. Number 3, Sister Surroundings story. Our next story also comes to us from a Redditor sharing a time they got their tarot read out of curiosity, but got a lot more than they had bargained for. The user by the name of Sinister Surrounding had recently gotten out of a long relationship and was finding life a bit difficult. So she reached out to a tarot card reader to see what the future might hold. As the user reached the reader's house, it started raining heavily. The place looked dark and dingy, like no one had lived there for many years. As they made their way, they saw the curtains were closed and the place was cluttered. A woman greeted them, and the Redditor said that they seemed friendly, but something just seemed off. They went to the dining room, describing the whole place as being covered in knickknacks and candles. The reading began, and the reader told them to clear their head and relax. Hey, try that on for size right now while you're listening along. Just clear your head, relax a little. She guessed that her star sign correctly, an Aries, and sensed that they were there because of a relationship ending. As she talked about the prediction being correct, the Redditor said that even though they had feelings for their partner, she'd be happy if he moved on. But the tarot reader closed her eyes and said back, he won't meet anyone else, as he'll be dead soon. At first, the Redditor assumed it was a cruel joke. The tarot reader repeated, he will be dead soon and you will kill him. She was scared and uncomfortable, and so she left immediately. It was still pouring rain. As she left, the reader was watching her from the doorway. The Redditor would get home and fall asleep on the sofa, having terrible nightmares of graveyards, doll heads, and fires. When she awoke, she checked her phone and found she had an email from the tarot reader with a mysterious audio file and a subject line reading, "You will kill him." She claimed too that afterwards she started hearing voices. Now, she never posted any follow-up on this story, so we can only speculate what happened, but it really doesn't sound like anything good. Maybe someone read some tarot, see if some tarot cards have an answer for this story. Number 2, The Cross. Our next story is called The Cross, and it goes a little like this. So when her friends suggested they visit Madame Isabella, a renowned tarot card reader in town, she couldn't resist the opportunity to have her fortune told. Excitement, anticipation, these things filled her as she stepped into a dimly lit room adorned with vibrant tapestries and flickering candles. Madame Isabella's piercing gaze sent a shiver down the young Emma's spine as she shuffled the ancient deck of cards. With a voice as haunting as the whispers of the wind, the psychic began to unveil Emma's future. The first few cards brought a sense of optimism, painting a picture of love and success. But then the atmosphere grew heavier, and a card emerged that sent a chill through Emma's veins. The Death card stared back at her, its imagery ominous and foreboding. Isabella's expression turned grave as she explained the card's significance. It's a symbol of transformation, the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. But Emma's heart raced, fearing the worst. As the session concluded, Emma couldn't shake off that haunting prophecy. The following days were filled with unsettling unease as she mulled over the meaning of the Death card. Her once bright future now seemed obscured by a dark cloud. She questioned every decision, analyzed everything, searching for a way to escape this fate that had been laid before her. Quite literally. Weeks turned to months, and the fear would consume Emma, making her a prisoner of her own thoughts. The specter of the Death card haunted her every waking moment, robbing her of joy and hope, some of the best emotions to have. But as time passed, Emma began to realize that the power to shape destiny rested in her hands. With newfound determination, embrace the transformative message of the card, seeing it as an opportunity for growth rather than an omen of doom. And so Emma embarked on a journey of self-discovery. Her confidence grew, and she realized that the prediction of the Death card was not an ending, but a rebirth. Number 1, the Flea Market. Our last story is called The Flea Market today, and it goes like this. Sarah had always been fascinated by the mystique of tarot cards, so when she stumbled upon an old deck at a flea market, she couldn't resist purchasing. With a mix of excitement and just a safe bit of apprehension, she sat alone in a dimly lit room, shuffling the cards and contemplating the future. As she laid them out in a Celtic cross spread, her heart skipped a beat. The final card, the Ten of Swords, stared back at her with a grim depiction of betrayal and anguish. Sarah's breath caught in her throat as she remembered stories of the card's meaning, a sign of devastating endings and profound suffering. Shaking off this unease, Sarah dismissed the prediction as mere superstition. However, an eerie sense of foreboding settled upon her. Small misfortunes plagued her. A broken phone, missed opportunities, strained relationships, each incident felt like a thread being woven into a tapestry of doom. Sarah's skepticism crumbled as the Ten of Swords manifested in her life. Betrayal came in the form of a dear friend's deceit, causing her heart to be broken. Anguish consumed her as she faced unexpected loss and disappointment. Her life had turned into a labyrinth of despair. Haunted by the tarot's prophecy, Sarah sought solace and understanding. She drove into the study of the cards, desperate to make sense of her unraveling reality. In research, she discovered that the Ten of Swords wasn't only a harbinger of despair, but an invitation to rise from the ashes, to rebuild and grow stronger. Embracing this lesson, Sarah found strength in herself, sought therapy to heal her wounds, reached out to loved ones, and made peace with the past. In time, the dark clouds lifted and Sarah emerged. The tarot's chilling prediction had come to pass, but also ignited her spirits. The scariest forecasts hold the keys to our personal evolution, and Sarah's story became a testament to the interconnectedness of fate and free will, a reminder that our lives are our choices, and it's resilience that determine the course of our lives. Oh, that one turned out to be a lot more inspirational than we do around Top 5 Scary. I hope you leave this video with a sense of renewed vigor. That's all she wrote for this one. Creep on, creeping on, and your destiny's your own. You know that, right? Take it easy.